Let's go to the Seattle Seahawks now. Mike Iupati has called it a career, announcing his retirement today from the NFL. He was going to be a free agent this offseason. I didn't anticipate him coming back to Seattle anyway. He's played the past 2 years as a member of the Seahawks, but he's really battled injuries in recent years, and he said the exact thing I think many of us were thinking. His body was telling him, hey man, it's time. A very successful NFL career, made plenty of money, set for life, but I think at this point, he's right. It was time for him to move on and look elsewhere. So now for Seattle, with Iupati off the depth chart altogether, the quote-unquote starting left guard, Jordan Simmons, who is also a restricted free agent, and frankly, not that good. If I'm Seattle, and it's something I've said many a time, you got to look interior offensive line for help. Is Phil Haynes ready to start? I don't think so. I don't think he's good enough. Maybe I'm wrong, but who knows? That leaves free agent Anthony Posick, pending free agent RFA, not that good in Jordan Simmons. If you're Seattle, I think you got to find a way to upgrade at left guard and at center, especially now with Iupati calling it a career and retiring. He was going to turn 34 in the near future. Successful career, make no mistake about it, but I don't think this is like an, oh no, he's gone. It's like, okay, yeah, that was fairly expected. Even if he didn't retire, I don't know if he's going to be back with Seattle. He would have been back with Seattle this next season. Let's go to a possible reunion. Richard Sherman. Sports Illustrated says the Seahawks should strongly consider a reunion, and I'm open to it. I think many of you guys are as well. Now, Sherman's made it very clear the past few months he does not expect to return to the 49ers. It just so happens that the Seahawks' top two corners are also free agents. Sherman, at some point, I think will retire as a Seahawk. So why not come play his self-described expected last 2 years as a member of the Seahawks? It's intriguing. I'm open to it. Now, I'm using Pro Football References numbers here. The PFF ones look pretty different, just so we're clear. Not the same player he was in his prime, although that is exactly what we said when the Niners signed him originally. So if I were Seattle, yes, I would have interest because I've got Shaquille Griffin, I've got Quinton Dunbar as free agents. I got a second-round pick and not that much money. If I can sign Sherman on the cheaper than either Griffin or Dunbar, which I think is possible, maybe unlikely as it relates to Dunbar. Griffin's going to get more, I think, on the open market. I can draft a corner in round 4, develop him, have Sherman for 2 years, and pair him with DJ Reed on the outside. I think that's pretty intriguing. So Seahawks fans, get your comments in here. This will be the pinned comment, by the way, on today's video. Do you want to bring back Richard Sherman? Type in Y for yes or type in N for no. Get your votes in there, especially if you get that ad break here on YouTube right now. Let's talk trade now. I don't like this one, but I want to bring it up because FANSIDED'S suggested, what if you trade away Jarran Reed? Now, I get it. I get the rationale of going through at least the possibility of it, right? Seattle, tight on cap space, very few draft picks this year. The reason why I don't love this idea is that this team is not set on the defensive line. And the Jarran Reed that we saw in the back half of 2020, that guy's worth what he's getting paid. Now, if it's the first half, it's not that great. But 5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. You can get a little bit more out of that in 2021, and he's worth every penny. And most importantly, if you were to move on from Jarran Reed, all of a sudden, your defensive tackle rotation is Poona Ford and Brian Monet as your run stoppers. Are you going to play Rasheem Green and LJ Collier full-time at defensive tackle? Because if you are, okay, I'm unconvinced they can hold up. If you want to rotate them on passing down, sure, I'm in there. But I think for Reed, you move on from him, you've now created a big need on the defensive line. Where I'm open to having that conversation is based on what the trade package could look like. FANSIDED'S idea didn't net the Seahawks very much. A very late third-round pick. That's, by the way, the projected comp pick for this guy named Tom Brady. Maybe you've heard of him. I don't know. And then a 5th-round pick as well. That's not much. Like, you're not going to find a better player in round 3 than Jarran Reed. Like, that's not the route you're going to go. Now, if you were rebuilding, different conversation. But if you're trying to win in 2021, I say no. I think the Seahawks say no. Team Manchester wants a second. I think that'd be the minimum for me based on where this team is at. So who says no in the comments? P for Patriots, S for the Seahawks. If you guys want a new NFL hat, we got you guys covered. They are on sale up to 40% off. Chatsports.com/NFL hats. They've got them for all 32 NFL teams in a ton of different styles and colors and even some throwback logos mixed in there as well. So if you want a new NFL and save up to 40% off in the process, head over to chatsports.com/NFL hats. We will put that link, by the way, in the comments and in the description. So all you guys have to do is click and go shop. It's available at chatsports.com/NFL hats. I do want to discuss Leonard Fournette now as well. Pitched as a free agent target for the Seahawks by ESPN 710 in Seattle. Michael Bumpus was like, oh, man, you got to keep Chris Carson no matter what. He's your best player, blah, 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 because, it's boomer season, I guess. And then it was like, well, if you can't keep Chris Carson, I would suggest Leonard Fournette, which I'm fine with. I think it'll be a pretty cheap rotation piece. I don't think Fournette is going to break the bank necessarily, mostly because even though playoff Lenny was a thing, yes, as producer Sam says, Lombardi Lenny now, which is fine, I guess. He averaged less than 4 yards per carry in the regular season. That's not that appealing. But if you lose Chris Carson and you lose Carlos Hyde and Alex Collins is already a free agent, at that point, I wouldn't mind going after someone like a Leonard Fournette as a cheap rotation piece. I don't think he's going to be the answer to your backfield issues, but as a rotation with a Rashad Penny, a DJ Dallas, Travis, or maybe even another draft pick, at that point, I do think it starts to make at least a little bit of sense, but I'm not going to break the bank at that point in terms of figuring out exactly what you're going to throw his way. I don't think that's a great idea. So Seahawks fans, let me know, who do you want as the Seahawks' number one back for the 2021? Is it Chris Carson? Do you want to give Rashad Penny a chance, or do you want to go in a draft free agency route? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let's go now to the NFL TV right deals, because this matters for every single NFL team. Reports from CNBC are that the NFL is asking the current providers, so CBS, Fox, Disney, and NBC, to double their current cost of the TV rights. That would lead to about a doubling of the salary cap. It would be a massive, major jump. Disney, by the way, owner of ESPN/ABC, the Monday Night Football package, is currently pushing back against that particular idea. Now, just to put in perspective how ridiculously expensive this is, the current TV deals right now, ESPN for Monday Night Football paying annually $1.9 billion. Fox, $1.2 billion. Or 1.1. CBS, $1 billion. NBC, $160 million. That's annually, by the way. And the NFL wants to make this a 10-year deal. So you double that times 10, you guys can do math. That's a lot of money. And this is why NFL players and agents being smart are like, yeah, we want shorter-term deals so that once this TV money comes in, we can double dip and cash on an ever-growing salary cap. And why smarter teams are like, yes, we'll restructure deals this year and push money down the road when the salary cap goes way up. And why the NFL, by the way, should go with a flat cap in 2020. Because if the millionaires and the owners and the billionaires can't afford a $10 million raise in the salary cap, we got a whole different conversation there. So if I'm the NFL, I know that money's coming. I'm keeping that salary cap nice and high.